Bible and grab your smokes. News and weather, music and jokes. See on the porch in my favorite house coat, it's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. She's a feral Christian out in the wild, the cigarette mom with a queen bee style, talking or singing about somebody you know. It's the Sarah Beth Terry, the Sarah Beth Terry, it's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. I'm Sarah Beth Terry, and you're not.
Oh, good morning. It is a Monday, August the 17th, 2026, and we are off and rolling at 20 till 9 in the morning. Hello. How was your weekend? Mine was busy and fraught with adventure. Thursday was my birthday. I'm now the big 4-3, and it ain't just Tom Petty's number, okay? Not Tom Petty, Sarah Beth Terry, Richard Petty. Tell you, it's Monday. Wrong Petty. Morning from northern Minnesota. Hello, Missy and Neil. I don't know which one's talking to me, Missy or Neil. Might be Missy and Neil. Hello, Tina. Hello, Virgil. What's up? So, we're off and running this morning. I got up what I thought was really early in the morning, but it turns out it was about 6:15. I was like, oh, it's about time for me to get up anyway. So I got up, put on a house coat, and come and let the chickens out. Little baby turkey has gone to be with the Lord, and so has one of the little itty-bitty tiny babies. With all this rain coming in, and we have a creek behind our house, it's drove some of the varmints up into the coop. So it's okay. I can't cry about it. It's a circle of life. In case you haven't watched the news this morning and you're dying to know what's going on, here is source check headlines. I rounded up for you for today so that you would know what's going on. Lord, give me the strength. It's a long list. It's already Monday, and the dumb is already thick. Around the world, President Trump ordered the Pentagon to scale back joint U.S.-South Korea military exercises, saying that the drills are expensive and undermine potential diplomacy with North Korea. Like, yeah. South Korea hopes a decision could reopen talks with Pyongyang. Didn't even know we was trying to get a hold of them, but apparently this will open up the doors to the communication with Pyongyang if we just ease it. Just letting you know. The 60-day deadline for a U.S.-Iran peace agreement has expired without a final deal, leaving the Strait of Hormuz, Iran's nuclear program, and regional security unresolved. Why does Iran have a nuclear program? I thought that's all we was over there to begin with. Whatever, it's fine. Russia's attacks on Ukrainian ports and infrastructure continue to threaten the Ukraine's grain exports, you know, the bread bowl of the world, while President Zelensky is again requesting additional American Patriot air defense systems. Well, after you've been using drones to just kill random people, Zelensky, I think we need to stop sending you so much money. Anyway, that's what I think. Burgos, Bulgaria has been selected to host the 2027 Eurovision Song Contest after Bulgaria earned its first victory in 2026. So congratulations. In U.S. politics, Trump's decision to reduce the Korean military exercises is receiving major criticism from lawmakers who warned that it could weaken military readiness and strain the U.S.-South Korea alliance. Probably. But there's probably a better way. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Just saying. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy publicly rejected Trump's recent claims about the combined MMR vaccine, calling the president's rhetoric dangerous and medically unfounded. Well, if we know anything about medically unfounded, just look to Fauci. This was also the same dude in the 80s who told you that you could catch AIDS by touching somebody. So, you know, the fact that we took his advice on the biggest pandemic in history and now y'all are coming down hard on RFK Jr. and Trump for trying to get everybody healthy again, it's whatever. You made your bed. All right, the Senate convenes today for a pro forma session with no committee hearings scheduled. More of the same. Republicans are emphasizing falling national crime rates as they search for a strong midterm election message amid concerns over inflation in the economy. Crime's down, prices are up. Seems like that would not be the case. Seems like with prices going up, crime would be up. But none of us have robbed a grocery store yet, so, you know. The BBC is asking a U.S. court for help obtaining testimony from members of Trump's family as it responds to a $10 billion defamation lawsuit. Well, maybe check your facts and have some integrity in your reporting rather than just spouting off at the hip. Then you wouldn't be sued for libel all the time. I'm just saying. Like, does no one practice MLA format? Does no one check the book anymore? Does no one cite their sources? Because I couldn't graduate college without at least a 15-page bibliography of everything that I touched, including the Dewey Decimal System and that big-ass library over at the University of Kentucky that I had to get a card for. You tell me that you can't take 10 minutes just double-check, make sure you got that name right? Just saying. Across the USA this morning, Lake Powell has reportedly fallen to a record low water level, renewing concern over water supplies throughout the drought-stricken Southwest. So that's concerning. A major federal trial concerning Instagram's alleged harm to young users is scheduled to begin on Tuesday. 4 states are seeking $1.4 trillion from Meta. How about quit giving your kids a cell phone that has a bunch of scum and filth on it? How about raise your kids? How about give them a book instead of an iPad? How about you take an active involvement in your child's rearing so that YouTube doesn't have to do it for you? That's all I'm saying. You know, like, we didn't have this problem in my generation because if you wanted to log on to do Microsoft Paint or AIM or Hot or Not or MySpace, you were limited to 30 minutes on the screen in the family computer room. We had a whole room in the 90s in our homes dedicated to a computer. You could only use it if Mom was off the phone with Aunt Beth because you had to use the same phone line. None of us are acting crazy. This is as crazy as we get on the internet, bitching about all the other stuff on the internet. Hi, Mittens. Good morning. Time for a little cat break. Say hi, Mittens. Say hi. Say hi with your 5 thumbs. He hates being on TV. Did you catch a mouse because your belly is super full? Hello, Byhalia, Mississippi. All right. A suspect accused of killing 5 people in northern Michigan was found dead following a manhunt, according to Michigan State Police. I hear a baby chirping in the coop. In Appalachian, West Virginia news, flood warnings remain active in parts of West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio after relentless storms have hit communities including Cabin Creek and Boomer, West Virginia. Governor Patrick Morrisey has extended West Virginia's state of emergency for 12 counties damaged by severe storms that began on July 21st. So for like a month now, we've been bombarded with some bad rain. And a lot of people say, well, y'all are up in the mountains. Yeah, we're also in the hollers. There's not a lot of place for that rain to go. So it just, shit rolls downhill. So just saying. West Virginia, speaking of, is facing a shortage of practicing attorneys as the demand rises. The state's number of active lawyers has reportedly fallen nearly 10% since 2014, and I can tell you why. Because everybody who's sitting on the bench as a judge has been there since we were taking a draft for NOM. 90% of the cases that you have in your courtrooms these days is for someone having marijuana or something that they can grow out of the backyard, and you're not paying attention to actual traffickers and pedophiles and criminals. You're just, the rest of us that are minding our own business on the porch, you think we're trying to dodge the draft, so you make it really hard for us to live in daily life. That's why people don't want to practice law in West Virginia. That's why people don't want to move here and represent the community, because it's bullshit. I saw this morning that a friend of mine who has now moved to Texas, used to live in Hurricane 29 years ago. She said, what happened to this town? And I said, the same mayor's been in position for 22 years and all the money's going in his pocket instead of on the road. That's why you spend more on tires and axles than you do on your education. If you want to be a lawyer, you have to believe in what you're fighting for. And if you don't believe in what you're fighting for, it's real hard to fight. Just saying. We got a lot of fish to fry here in West Virginia, starting with the good old boys corrupt political system. The fact that Patrick Morrisey has spent $2 million on a Ferris wheel, when we're the poorest state in the world. Just somebody needs to take hold of that checkbook and have a sit down and come to Jesus. Might need to be me. I don't know. State officials continue investigating after West Virginia's school clothing allowance program faces concerns about cash withdrawals. Approximately 52,000 applications are still being processed. An urgent search remains in effect for 2 children reportedly abducted in Greenbrier County over the weekend. And recent Appalachia features are highlighting the region's rural photographers, mine wars history, community resilience, and emerging investment in science and technology. It's according to 100 Days in Appalachia, and this is day 304. So, in the daily 304, sorry. So, that's what we're looking towards. Be excited about the good stuff. Try to fix the bad stuff. Same old, same old. That storm cloud is dark. We're going to have rain all day today. In country music, Colt Ford suffered a broken shoulder when his tour bus crashed while traveling in a concert in Germany. He and members of his crew were rescued through the front windshield, the damaged windshield. So thankful that he's alive and praying for his speedy recovery. Craig Morgan and Chris Cagle performed tonight at the Midland County Fair in Michigan. Organizers are warning fans to purchase tickets only through official sources because of the rampant scams that are out and about. So make sure you know. Maren Morris marked the 10th anniversary of her breakthrough album, Hero, with an emotional anniversary performance at Nashville's Ryman Auditorium, according to People magazine. Randy Travis recently released I Don't Care, a previously unheard song that he co-wrote. Pretty exciting about that. If you would like a little trivia to palate the news a little easier, on this day in history, in 1807, Robert Fulton Steamboat began its maiden voyage up the Hudson River. In 1959, Miles Davis released the landmark jazz album Kinda Blue, which is one of my favorites to this day, and I keep it on constant repeat. In 1969, Category 5 Hurricane Camille struck Hurricane. See, I live in Hurricane, that screws me up. Hurricane Camille struck the Gulf Coast, becoming one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever hit the United States. That was back in 1969. In 1970, the Soviet Union launched Venera 7, which later became the first spacecraft to transmit data successfully from the surface of another planet. That's exciting. On this date, 1998, President Bill Clinton admitted that he had an improper relationship with Monica Lewinsky. But that depends on what your definition of is. Born today, actor Robert De Niro was born August the 17th in 1943, turning 83 today. Actor Sean Penn turns 66, and actor Austin Butler turns 35. Frontiersman and politician Davy Crockett was born on this day in 1786. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. Born today. Happy birthday, Dave. Indonesia celebrates its Independence Day today, marking its 1945 proclamation of independence. Happy Independence Day to Indonesia. Today is also National Nonprofit Day, National Thrift Shop Day, which I'm super excited about, Black Cat Appreciation Day, and National Vanilla Custard Day. If you're celebrating any of those, today is those days. In pop culture news today, actress and singer Hayden Panettiere has died at the age of 36. We don't have any facts right now. Heroes and Country star Juliette Barnes on Nashville was one of my favorite roles. She's also remembered for her appearance in Remember the Titans, which is how we discovered Hayden to begin with. I love her so much. She was in General Hospital when she was a kid. No, God not. Sorry, I had to think. She was found unresponsive Sunday in Greenville, South Carolina, and is pronounced dead despite medical assistance. Her cause of death has not been released, and police say the preliminary investigation found no signs of foul play or suspicious circumstances, but the case remains under investigation because of her young age. She is survived by her daughter, Kaya, and her parents. Bless her heart. Spider-Man Brand New Day remains number one at the North American box office for a third weekend in a row. The film has now surpassed $2 billion worldwide, becoming only the 8th movie to reach that milestone in history. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey remains in second place and has exceeded $1.2 billion worldwide. Pretty exciting. Anne Hathaway, Dwayne Johnson, and Disney CEO Bob Iger was among figures honored at the 2026 Disney Legends ceremony. Anne Hathaway gave a beautiful speech, and they gave a beautiful tribute to her, and she looked absolutely darling in her blue maternity gown. She is the cutest thing that ever was. I don't care what anybody says. In Lexington, Kentucky, there was a shooting over the weekend. A mass shooting during the East End Day celebration at Charles Young Park in Lexington has killed 16-year-old Dezon Robertson and wounded 4 other people. The injured victims included a 4-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 2 adults ages 39 and 41. Their injuries were reported later as non-life-threatening. Lexington police arrested 18-year-old Demetrius M. Griffin in connection with the shooting. He faces charges of murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, and 2 counts of second-degree assault with tampering with physical evidence. The shooting did end Lexington's reported 192-day stretch without a homicide. Counseling and community support sessions are being provided for students, families, and witnesses of the event. That's according to WKYT this morning. I want to say a big shout-out to our buddy Victor Puente over there. Good to see you. Farm report today. If you're keeping up and you're trying to watch your crops, the USDA reduced its projected national corn yield to 180.7 bushels per acre, down from July's estimate of 183. However, expanded harvested acreage could still produce approximately 16 billion bushels, the country's second largest corn crop on record. Soybean production forecast increased to approximately 4.52 billion bushels, although estimated yield slipped slightly to 52 bushels per acre, so that's all right. The wheat crop is projected at approximately 1.53 billion bushels, potentially the smallest American wheat harvest since 1970. Grain futures rose following the revised forecast, and the latest available crop condition figures, 61% of American corn and 62% of soybeans were rated good to excellent. Both crops were running behind their condition levels from the past year. In West Virginia, the West Virginia pasture and hay conditions have improved with recent rainfall, but early dry weather reduced forage reserves in some areas. Farmers are being encouraged to calculate their winter hay and feed supplies early, as we're expecting a really rough winter. Heavy rain and flash flooding across parts of West Virginia, Kentucky, and southern Ohio could damage hay already cut, create muddy livestock conditions, and increase the risk for runoff, erosion, and hoof problems. So try to keep your coop and your barnyard dry if you can. West Virginia officials report low-level agricultural sampling findings associated with the Parkersburg fire cleanup. The state is also participating in an oral rabies vaccination effort targeting wildlife, while Kanawha County continues monitoring a spotted lanternfly detection. So a lot going on in nature. Just keep your head on a swivel. The USDA's newest weekly crop progress report is scheduled for release today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so national crop condition numbers may be updated later this afternoon. If that's what you're keeping up with, then just keep your eye to the weather. 20 feel-good and human interest headlines to make you feel good for today, because I always like to end with something that feels good. In Colorado firefighters rescued 7 puppies and a pet rat from a Pueblo house fire, administering oxygen and CPR before transferring the animals to a humane society. That's exciting. 10 adoptable Texas dogs enjoyed a Rangers baseball game this weekend, complete with snacks and professional portraits to help them find permanent homes. I guess every dog has its day. 3 puppies rescued during an animal neglect investigation were adopted by the very police officers who saved them. That's in People magazine this week. A dog discovered inside a garbage truck found a permanent home with the truck's driver. That's pretty exciting to think about. There's good news sometimes. A New Mexico Zoo's Simon Gibbon, named Eve, gently cared for a baby robin that fell into her habitat. The unharmed bird was eventually reunited with its mother. I love that. 15 rescued lions and tigers are headed from a closed Argentine zoo to a Colorado sanctuary offering natural enclosures and modern veterinary care. So that's really exciting. There's going to be lions and tigers in Colorado. Can you stand it? And bears, oh my. Millions of viewers are finding joy in Alaska's viral bear cam. If you've not watched this yet, watching Katmai National Park's brown bears catch salmon and prepare for hibernation. One bear named Otis reportedly ate 42 fish in a single sitting the other day. This is what people are watching on the internet. 2 strangers who met at a New York commuter train became such good friends that they traveled to a tropical island together. Isn't that great when you make friends with people sitting next to you? The porch is big, friends. Just reach out and say hi. Corn sweat is a thing. Not when you eat too much corn, but the corn will sweat. I'm telling you, there's a whole thing. A couple who married in 1946 celebrated an extraordinary 80th wedding anniversary, according to ABC this morning. That's pretty awesome. A father ran a mile in 4 minutes and 17 seconds while pushing his baby in a stroller. Wow. Pretty exciting. A heroic teenage lifeguard received a special welcome after the cast of Baywatch after performing a real-life rescue. That's pretty neat. The Carolina Panthers helped make a young fan's NFL dream come true this weekend, and a Houston man's personal effort to pick up litter inspired neighbors to join him in a large community cleanup. Speaking of cleaning up, volunteers in Michigan combined at the Muskegon River Camp, and they had a big free community festival this weekend featuring food, crafts, games, and environmental exhibits while they cleaned stuff up. That was according to the Big Rapids News this morning. In the Washington Post, after a chef's bakery stand was stolen from her yard, 2 strangers spent 12 hours building her a replacement, showing that there's still good people in the world. A Minnesota community now boasts the world's tallest nutcracker, because apparently a regular-sized nutcracker wasn't enough, but it is the biggest one in the world, and if you want to go and see it, it's in Minnesota. Women competitors set 3 world records during Wisconsin's annual Lumberjack World Championships over the weekend. Women competitors, I know. We know wood. Voting begins today for the 2026 World's Cutest Rescue Dog Competition, which celebrates adoption stories and provides a donation to the winning dog's chosen rescue organization. So that's pretty neat. Get on there and check that out. Here's some little fun facts that you can sprinkle into your conversation today and maybe learn something along the way. A group of flamingos, it's called a flamboyance. True story. Cows have close companions and can become stressed and separated from the preferred herd mates. Heifers have best friends, don't split them up. Goats have rectangular pupils, giving them an unusually broad field of vision. So if you ever looked at a goat and realized what they're looking at, they're looking at everything. Chickens can recognize more than 100 faces, including both chickens and humans. So if you ever piss off a chicken, they will remember it. Pigs cannot look straight up at the sky because of the structure of their necks, and that makes me sad thinking that they've never seen a falling star. Never looked up and saw a rainbow. Poor little pig. A donkey's bray can carry roughly 2 miles under favorable conditions, and I know that's true because I've heard one up the holler a couple nights in a row here, and I know there ain't no donkey within a mile here. A couple of jackasses, but not a donkey. Botanically speaking, bananas are berries. Just so you know. But strawberries are not. Tomatoes are fruit. Things are weird. Peanuts aren't nuts. They're legumes. Related closely to beans, peas, and lentils, just in case you ever want to know. Apples float because roughly 1/4 of their volume is air. That's why it's easy to bob for them. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. A single teaspoon of healthy soil can contain billions of microorganisms. Didn't know if you knew this or not. Octopuses, or octopi, plural, have 3 hearts and they have blue blood. Something to think about. It's kind of cool. A hummingbird is the only bird capable of sustained backward flight. It's pretty cool to watch. The fingerprints of a koala are so similar to human fingerprints that they can be difficult to distinguish at a glance. The average cumulus cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds, even though it appears to float effortlessly like a big cotton ball in the sky. That thing is real heavy. You have to lift with your knees. West Virginia, speaking of, is the only state formed by separating from a Confederate state during the Civil War. It entered the Union on June the 20th, 1863. It's pretty exciting to know about. So, there's you some facts, some headlines, and some weather and some farm reporting. All before 9 a.m. You're welcome. Hello, friends. I'm seeing some of you join us. Which baby is chirping and why? There's nothing to bitch about this morning. No, not in the chicken yard. My goal today is to go to the Tractor Supply, get all the stuff that I need for drying out my chicken coop and feeding them babies for the next couple weeks. Today is Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I need 5 bags of feed. That'll cover the next 10 days. Hello, Erica Nicole. So, pretty exciting about it. Oh, speaking of Erica Nicole, now she's on here, I can brag about her. Something fell off a tree. Next Saturday, at the Fix in Sapphire, North Carolina, my friend Erica Nicole will be opening up for me at 6 p.m. I go on stage at 7, and we're going to have a big old concert. So if you got your tickets yet, there's only a couple left, so make sure you get on our website and check that out. And if there's enough interest in the next couple days, we're probably going to do another Feral Christian on Sunday morning while we're in North Carolina. So if you would like to be a part of that, let us know. We may organize that before we get there this weekend. Might as well, since we're there. I had to go to the post office today. That's also on my list, Lisa. Thank you for reminding me. Now I'm going to take a bunch of contractor bags, and I'm just going to start cleaning house. And then I'm going to go rent a trailer and take it to the dump. And try to get my life organized. It's the first week of being 43, and I cannot go into it with all this mess. In our neck of the woods, it's real clammy. You can feel the air. I have got to paint these nails. Good Lord. Look how chipped them are. Them's just, look, you can tell them play the guitar. Somebody said, how do you play the guitar with nails? Because they're short. I just paint them so it don't look so rough and tumble on stage. Today is National Thrift Shop Day, so I encourage you to get out to your favorite junk store, your Goodwill, your Restore, whatever you like to go and spend your money at. Today is National Thrift Shop Day, so they might be doing something promotional-wise. They might not even know about it. You might need to tell them. I don't know. I do know that it's Monday. I have a co-write in an hour. I got to go to the tanning bed. I got to go to the gym. I got to go to the Dollar Tree. I got to go to the Tractor Supply. I got to run out to the dump probably tomorrow morning, if I'm just being honest. Today just might be a let's gather everything up, and then tomorrow we'll take it all out to the dump. I just feel like that's what's fixing to happen. It's like my mom always said, why do today what you can put off till tomorrow? There's that. So, I did have an hour-long conversation with my friend Leah Steele this morning, who hosts Faith on the Fringe. I was just on her podcast a couple weeks ago. I love talking to her. It's like having a pen pal across the world, and we both talk about, like, Bible stuff. Today we got on a big talk about Paul. I'm telling you, I love when I talk to other people in the faith, because we're encouraged to ask questions and figure out what's going on. Speaking of talking about the faith, we are going to be at the Seven Loaves Cafe Thursday night, August the 20th, for a Feral Christian Bible study live in person. So if you want to be part of that crowd and be part of the live taping, we still have some tickets available, and that's in Greenup County, Kentucky. So just let us know. Pretty excited about it. Nervous, because normally I'm sitting here in front of a camera and there ain't nobody around but the cat, but, you know, I guess I'll have to wear pants. Jesus didn't wear pants. Becca wear some kind of tunic. When do I sleep? Not often, Phyllis. I kind of go on 6-hour shifts. And I know that sounds terrible, but I borrowed that from my buddy Ed Millett. He lives 6-hour days, so there's 4 days a day. So from 6 a.m. to noon is when I get all my piddling done, let the chickens out, feed the animals, pick up, straighten up, put away laundry. Then at noon, I start my other day, and that's usually get a lot of stuff done on the house, and I work till about 6 o'clock. Then around 6 o'clock, I start working on things that have to do with Cigarette Mom, Feral Christian, Queen Bee, music, shows, touring, things like that. And I usually do that till about 10, 11 o'clock at night. Then I go to bed, and I sleep till about 4:45 in the morning. I get up, whether I want to or not, because I have to pee. Sarah, send me a message. I'll be glad to help you out. We'll help each other out. Why not? The only way we can know is to ask questions. And you don't know what you don't know until you know it, you know? Melissa said it was bad storms in St. Louis last night, but the weather's 70 degrees and sunny today. Well, that's awesome. 75 would be nice. I think it's about 82 here and just muggy. But we're supposed to have some more rain. I see storm clouds coming in from the west, so. You know how to read the weather. We got a baby hawk out flying today on the creek. First time I can hear it. And I see it every now and again. Little baby hawk. So. I have time for one more cigarette. Oh, before I forget, if you want to book us for something, we have like, let me tell you, because I can tell you what dates are left. In case you want to book us. I say us because I bring Sean and he sets my stage up. Let's see, we're in Sapphire, North Carolina this weekend. Believe it or not, we haven't got a gig Labor Day weekend just yet, so just let us know. But we have that one's gone, that one's gone. I have the weekend of September the 26th open. And November the 14th and the 21st. That's it. That's all we got weekend-wise. So, oh, and we have some Christmas parties. Like, if you want to do some Christmas parties, those are usually, like, not on weekends. They're usually on random days, so you holler at me. I'll play the piano and wear a formal. I don't care. I'm here for it. There's so much to do, not near enough time or energy to do it. I'll get it figured out. I wish y'all could hear that hawk. She's just hollering this morning. This is what the morning is usually about to me, is just listening to different birds make noises and figure out if they're one of mine or one of theirs. I think after 40, you just become tuned into birds. You're like, is that an American robin? Is that a red-headed woodpecker? Yes, Tammy, it is. Not far tall. Come on down. Show's on Saturday night, starting at 6 o'clock. And they have really good food. So, dinner and a show. I know. Where am I performing the second half of October? I will be in Florida from the 17th to the 26th. So, if you're going to be near Perry, Florida, I'll be down in that area. I know, Denisha, it's crazy, right? I love when Sean goes back and clips these because he's like, you just have random conversations with comments. I'm like, you gotta be careful where you clip my stuff because I'm just talking to random people. You're not random. I know who you are. You know who you are. But out of context, it's like Sarah's just talking to people. Hi, Cynthia. Yes, the fix is awesome. We're praying for Shirley and his friend this morning who had open heart surgery. Pray for her speedy recovery. Probably Cass. Hawks can be your spirit animal. Just remember not to let it become your spirit. You know, like, just realize the God in everything. Intention is key. All right. Well, it is now 10 after 9. If I don't get up and do something with my day, then I'm going to regret it. So I'm going to go in there and clean the kitchen, and I'm going to get some garbage bags. I need to get some contractor bags. That's what I need to do. I need to get up and go to the Tractor Supply first thing and just get it done. So, oh, Angela, thanks for the tip. I'll have to look at that. So, well, my darlings, I don't know much else from the porch other than the stuff that I've already reported. I'll keep you updated on if I get anything done on the house today or if I just end up sitting around feeling sorry for myself. Who knows? Never know. I could get a break in the weather. But in the meantime, friends, remember to keep your Bibles open, your powder dry, and your head on the swivel because people are acting crazy. Be nice to other people, animals, and children. Try to love your neighbor if you can't give it to God because he loves you and I do too. Until we see each other again right here on this porch, remember, I'm Sarah Beth Terry. You're not.